Welcome back to another week on the podcast. I'm your host, Dana. I thank you all for coming. Thank you for listening. If you're on the audio, from YouTube, on the Spotify. Today's episode, I want to introduce somebody new that's never been on the panel before. My arch nemesis and rival. I don't even really know why he's on here because I don't even really like him for real. But I actually don't even know how he made the panel in the first place, if I'm being honest. That should be the title of the episode. If I'm being honest, I don't know how he's here because I really don't know. Say hi, Angela.
Hi. It's crazy how you don't know how I'm on here when you're the one in charge of this stuff. So, hi, I'm Angelo. I guess we're arch nemesis. I don't know. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Despite all the ups and downs, when he interviewed, I literally was so conflicted because I was like, I want you on my panel. But honestly, we're gonna show the world that you're not the same person that you were last year, because that person would have definitely never made it on a panel. But I saw a lot of growth and intellectual conversation, which is so foreign. I didn't know you could do that. So yeah, that's why you're on here, to talk about something very niche to you. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
What do you mean we haven't had an intellectual conversation? We always do. That's the whole point of debate club. I don't understand.
Intellectual conversation is different than you thinking that you're being intellectual.
I mean, I destroyed you in speech and debate. Not speech and debate. Which one was
See,
it?
look at you.
Debate club today.
You don't even know what's
Destroyed
going
you.
on.
You proved me right in like 5 different occasions.
Okay, so this is what we're not gonna do. So clearly, as you guys can see, we have a lasting rivalry. All jokes aside, like, we are cool, I guess, sort of. We can say we're friends, ish. I tolerate him, but yeah, I don't really know how he made the panel. He just interviewed and it was okay. But realistically, though, I am proud of him. Though he does so many things. He runs like 5 clubs in the school. If you don't know, he runs the mentorship club, the Big Littles. He runs the debate club. I remember he used to run the foreign exchange club, which was a really great experience. He used to connect us with little girls in Ecuador. They were so cute. To teach them English. Yeah, he does a lot. He does MMA. He'll talk about that. He does, that's pretty much all he does. He does a lot. There's a lot going on, a lot of motion. So yeah, go ahead. If you want to speak on yourself and do your one, for the one time, I'm gonna let you self-advertise. So go ahead.
Calm down. All right. So, hi, my name is Angelo. I'm a senior. So yeah, basically I got zoned to a high school that I wasn't really proud of. And then, decided to start this school, and I tried it out. It was a bit weird adjusting to it. It took a while to just, find myself in the school. But I feel like I had a lot of good friends and teachers and my parents to help back me up. And I found my place. I like to say I found my place. I started creating clubs, and then I started, working out and everything's just, moved into its place. And I feel like I found myself, just being involved in the school, having, my sport to go to, like, whenever I feel like I need to let some stress out. And, I always love being involved or helping other people. And that's just really kind of my thing. And now I'm senior. Kind of shocking, honestly. I feel like 4 years went by so fast, and next year I'll be in college. So yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. Do you want to tell them what your major is and the brainiest stuff that
Yeah.
you want to do?
I'm gonna go for a bio major or a neurobio major, depending on the school. I applied to 2 different ones for the schools. Hopefully I get into Georgetown. They deferred me to regular decision because starting 11th grade I got extremely high grades, whereas 9th and 10th grade they were alright. So there was a bit of an inconsistency, and they deferred me. But I'm really hoping to get into that school. Georgetown is like the school I really want to go to, and I've been getting a few acceptance letters from like St. John's, Villanova, LIU, and then hopefully once I get my bio major, I get that, and then I'll go to the medical field. It's something that I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. I've always loved the idea of being a doctor, and I'm not 100% set on what I'm going to do, but I'm leaning more towards forensic pathology.
I don't know what that
is.
That's some nerdy stuff. So I'm gonna need you to
Oh wow.
What is that?
So forensic pathology is a field that combines law and science. Basically, perform autopsies. We're in the law court. We're in the court of law. We're the person to go to for evidence and an opinion. So yeah, it's just I've always had that interest in law and that interest in science from a young age. And the second that I found that career, I knew it was the right one. So yeah, that's really just a career that I'm interested in right now. But I'm still open to other specialties while I would be in med school.
Yeah. So he's a nerd, and he'll be in school for a long time. And there's gonna be a lot of people that aren't gonna like him, just like how we don't like him. He's the person we love to hate. But no, in all seriousness, do you want to tell him what the title is?
The title is, if I'm being honest, a blank canvas is okay. I feel like for me personally, every single one of us has potential. And at a young age, I always heard my teachers, tell my parents that I have a lot of potential, but I never really used it. And I never really saw it in myself until really just like high school, when I started creating those clubs and I started getting those high grades. And I hopefully, like, my goal was for in those clubs to help others unlock that potential as well. So, like, when you're starting at base one and you feel like you're a blank canvas, I want people to know that that's perfectly normal. That's okay. If anything, it's a perfect place to start. So yeah, that's really what today is about.
Okay. I'm gonna let you give your little testimony on your journey with consistency and discipline. How did you come into finding what that looks like for you and then maintaining that?
Yeah, so I used to be very unorganized, especially coming into the school. Like I said, it took a while to adjust. And at first, I wasn't really on top of my classes. Can you guys hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, at first I wasn't really on top of my classes. I didn't really feel that adjusted, and it took a long time. And I would just take time to talk to my parents about it. And some of my teachers, they were talking to me like, they told me that they could help me out in helping me organize myself and everything. And I decided to take those opportunities. And little by little, it took a long time. I'd say it probably took all of 9th and 10th grade to feel like I fit into the school. I've always loved debate, and I thought, why not start a club about that in the school, since there wasn't one. I tried it out. It started working out, and I felt like it's pretty cool, just building that community. And then I started getting in contact with a foundation that I volunteered at, and I thought, the debate club worked out. What if this will work out too? An international club. And I got approval. I started it off. It was working well, and we were having fun. I mean, it took a little while to get organized at first, but in the end, it worked out. And I was never really much of a sporty person growing up. I was kind of chubby and I wasn't really athletic. And then I started MMA, and it was just like, I used to just start a sport and feel like wanting to give up. But then when I started that one, it was like something different. Like I wanted to actually keep trying, even though at first I completely sucked at it. And I found a bunch of different things that I enjoyed. And, it took a while to think about it and to realize that each of these things were opportunities to help build a new person, build a new me. And, little by little, the more I found different things, the more I wanted to keep it consistent. And I did. And then I started 12th grade. I started the Bake Club again. I wanted to make some differences. So I started the Mentor Club to help the lower class people. And, it took time. It took a lot of patience. It took a lot of hardship, but I was staying consistent in my efforts. And I tried to stay disciplined and organize myself a little bit more. And I'd say it worked out. And I'm happy that, I had a bunch of people to help support me. All of my teachers, including my friends and my parents. I just, the opportunities are always there. And that's what I never realized. And it took a while to realize that. And once I did, I don't know, I just didn't want to stop. So yeah, that's how I got here.
It's a long journey, because I remember when I met you, you was a knucklehead. It was really bad. You had all these allegations, and it was really bad, honestly. But then you became this people person that everybody figured out how to work with or whatever. You definitely slowed down a lot. But I always heard that sports definitely teaches people consistency and discipline. Not just because you gotta go to practice or you gotta try hard or you're gonna fail and you gotta do it again. And you learn community, you learn teamwork. It gives you something passionate, I guess, and that you can definitely transfer to other areas of life. I know people who are huge gym rats or whatever, they be like, oh, the way somebody takes care of themselves physically and shows up for themselves physically is a representation of their mind state. And I think I'm gonna do an episode on that. I think that's definitely true. I definitely have a lot of respect for people who eat the strict meal plan, who go to the gym the same time even when they don't feel like it, who show up for themselves, or they get in the ice bath even though it don't feel good or whatever it is. I feel like fitness definitely shows a strength of mind that definitely a lot of people don't have, that I don't have. So I don't know, but what's one thing that you would say to people who struggle with being consistent and having that discipline?
Yeah, well, being consistent and having discipline is something that you can't do on your own. And that's something that I've learned. Your environment highly affects you. And that's just plain truth. You need people who have the same interests as you. You need people who will be there to support you, whether that be your parents or your friends, or if you have a mentor, or if you have teachers that you're close with. And I feel like you just need to take time to focus on building that right community to surround yourself with. And little by little, you're going to start picking up things, and you're going to get more motivated to do different things. And that's how how that's really just how I was helped, having an environment, a supportive environment, especially in the school. So yeah, that's really the main thing of staying consistent and staying disciplined, surrounding yourself with people who do the same, or people who are trying to achieve the same thing.
Right. Okay. I guess I feel like the thing about that is though, like when it comes to people holding you accountable, because I know me, like I feel like I don't know, you can let me know how you feel about this, but I feel like when you rely too much on other people holding you accountable, it takes away from like the discipline that you have to find in yourself. Like it gets to a point where it's like, oh, like if you don't want to do something, you'll call somebody to help you do it, but if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't do it. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I completely understand that, but I'm not saying like fully just rely on them. I'm just saying to surround yourself around the right people, because you don't necessarily have to rely on them for every single thing, but you're going to start picking up some of the good habits that they have too. So it's not just having those good people behind you cheering you on, but it's taking advantage of them in a good way, learning from them and applying that to your own life. That's really what I was trying to say.
No, I feel that. Because I just think that, like, I don't know, me personally, in my experience, like, I feel like when it comes to having that community, like, it's hard. Realistically, though, it's hard to find people in your community who, like, just naturally do the things that you like. I know people be like, oh, yeah, like, if you like video games, go find somebody that can play video games. Or if you like anime, go find somebody that can watch anime. But I feel like certain things, it's just like, for some people, and I don't know if it's just me, but it's like the things that I like, the people that are already in my life that are naturally aligned with me, we align because of like personality, or we hang out and it's cool, or we could talk, but we don't necessarily like the same things, or we might not necessarily believe in the same things. So finding people who actually like care about the things that you care about as passionately as you do, like that stuff is hard. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were 5 times a week gym goer and your friend might go twice a month, you know what I'm saying? Not the same level of passion. You know what I mean? Or if you're a diehard Christian and you go every Sunday or every Saturday or whatever your day is, right? And you have a friend and they're like, oh yeah, I may go to church on Easter or whatever, like that's not the same thing. Or whether you have somebody who, oh yes, I'm obsessed with makeup and everything like that, oh yeah, I might put it on for a special occasion, not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm trying to go be a lawyer, well, I just like to study it because of not the same thing. The level of discipline and motivation that you have won't be the same thing. Like even schooling, I don't know if y'all parents ever told y'all this, but like they'd be like, if you're the smartest person in the room, you in the wrong room. You know what I mean? Basically saying
exactly.
Like you need to be chasing people who have the same level of like determination and the same vision that you do. And it's hard to find that sometimes if you're in the wrong circles. And it's like you have love for the people who aren't going in the same direction that you are, but at the same time it's like, how do you find that? You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's where I'm at in my life right now. Like I have people and it's like, oh yeah, we love y'all, that's cool, we rock with each other. But especially as we go off to college and we all are pursuing different paths, some people ain't even going to college. So it's like, are we really going to, it's just things that I think about, like how is everything going to pan out when you're going in a different direction? You know what I'm saying? It's just like
and I completely understand that. It obviously is, because it takes a while to find those people who you connect with, but that's why I think like having that open connection to anyone is really important. Like I've been going to the MMA gym for a while and I didn't expect anything but just training, but I actually ended up having a connection of someone who connected me with someone else to get some information about a college, and ended up working out, and they're actually in Georgetown right now. So just having that open mind to different connections, eventually you'll find the right people, or you'll find people who connect you to someone else. So it takes a long time. It could take a while even in college, but I'd say it's even easier in college because you're going to be in the same classes of people who are going to be have similar interests and stuff. But it's really important just having an open mind, because you could find the right opportunity in the most random place, and that's just how life works.
Right. I think that goes with a comment somebody said. She was like, if you have nothing smart to say, then don't say it at all. That's something that she was taught. And I like that, because we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You're supposed to listen. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type, like, it may sound like I talk a lot, but that's because I educate myself. And the things that I talk about, I'm very passionate about. If I didn't know what I was talking about, or I didn't think that I did, you wouldn't hear me talk. You know what I'm saying? If there's a conversation on something that I have no idea what y'all are talking about, I'm not the type to fake like I know what y'all talking about. I'm gonna listen. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very much like, if we have, like me and you, like we in debate, right? And you having your side of the debate and I'm talking passionately because because I think I know what I'm talking about, but your argument's better than mine. I'm gonna listen and recognize, okay, you know what, your argument might have been slightly better. You know what I'm saying? You might actually be right. Learning to listen and be open to different perspectives and different people is definitely something that like college definitely teaches you. Even high school teaches you. Real life will teach it to you. You know what I mean? That you have to be open-minded, you know, while of course maintaining, you know, your beliefs and what you want to do, but learning to listen, definitely. So I like that the person that said that. Show me the company you keep and it'll tell me who you are. Definitely. The people that you around, it shows me what values you have, you know what I mean? What you can rock with, what you can't. Because I know we all have, and we might do an episode on that. I'm getting so many ideas. Certain things that it's like, oh, if you do this, I can't rock with somebody who do this. You know what I'm saying? People that have different principles or just certain moments. Like I know this famous quote or whatever. It's like, oh, I don't do business with no man who cheats on his wife, because if she can't trust you, how can I? It's a famous quote or whatever, right? Basically saying like how you operate in other areas of life. I can't rock with people who operate like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's cool if you want to do you, but I can't have that. I don't value that. I don't get along with that. You know what I mean? So certain things, not you saying my argument was a whole lot better, not too much, but
I mean, it
really was not that much better. My stuff made logical sense too, but nah, where like it's like certain things to certain people. It's like the people that you have around you shows you, okay, what you like, what you don't like, what you are willing to learn, what you're not willing to learn. You know what I mean? It tells you a lot about you, the people that you keep around you. Definitely never make a claim you can't support. Literally, definitely.
So yeah, do you believe looking back on mistakes can be beneficial or harmful?
I think, okay, let me answer the question. Y'all know I don't never answer things straightforward, but I think that in general, looking back on mistakes is helpful. I think you can't learn if you keep doing the same thing. If you do the same thing over and over again, that's the definition of insanity, right? Expecting a different result, right? So looking back on your mistakes is the only way that you're gonna learn. You know what I mean? Especially if you are already made the mistake. Like we already know, like, oh, certain people have to touch the fire to know that it's hot. Certain people will just listen to the fireman that told you not to touch it, right? So if you was one of the people that unfortunately went and got burnt, you should probably remind yourself, dang, like I got a whole scar right here because I went and got burnt. I mean, like it reminds me of this, like I forgot what movie it's called, but it's like this guy and he's like in some werewolf apocalypse or whatever, right? And he doesn't feel any pain, and it's like, so he just powers through, like his pain receptors literally don't work, and so he just powers through everything, and he's getting beat up and he's getting cooked high key, and he's on the brink of death, but it doesn't matter to him because he can't feel it. So he's just dying, but he's just still going. He's not learning from nothing because there's nothing to remind him of the mistakes that he made. So if all of this makes sense, let me pull it back in, right? If you have nothing to remind you of the mistakes you make, or you forgot the mistake that you make, you're likely to make the same mistakes. If you don't even recognize that it was a mistake, then you can make the same mistake. Whether it's environment, right? If you move from a certain city to another city, right? If you didn't realize that environment was bad, you're gonna move to a similar environment. If you eat certain foods that make you sick and you don't realize it was that food, or I'm allergic to XYZ, you're gonna eat it again and you're gonna be sick again. So looking back on mistakes is definitely helpful. But I think when the point that it gets harmful is only when like you've moved on from the mistake and you've made a better choice, you've grown, you've matured, you did look back on your mistakes, and once you're finally past it, when people or even yourself keep reminding you of the past that you left, that's when it becomes harmful. Because it's like, how can I move forward if constantly people are reminding me of who I used to be or what I used to do or the mistakes that I made in the past? You know what I mean? A lot of times we see that like in family dynamics or whatever like that, or like even in relationships. Like if you make a mistake and you move forward, right, and they keep telling you like, oh, you remember you did this, or you hurt me like this, or you said this, and da da da. How you gonna let that person become a new person and build something new if they really are trying, if you keep reminding them of the old person that they used to be? You know what I mean? I just feel like it gets to a point like you have to know, and a lot of times we do that to ourselves. Like we carry a lot of guilt and all that stuff from the things that we do, whether you've just whatever mistakes that you've made. A lot of times we carry that. I don't know, I used to carry a lot of self-guilt. Like I really used to think I was a bad person. I used to carry that, and it stopped me from becoming a better person because I was so focused on, the mistakes that I made or the person that I was, versus like now being a fully, completely new person. I feel like I'm able to still recognize, okay, yeah, I used to do that, but like, because I feel like if you can't talk about something, you're not over it, I feel like. But you don't have to talk about it because you are over it, if that makes sense. Are y'all following me? That makes sense. You don't have to talk about it if you are over it. I'm not that person anymore. So if you ask me about about my testimony or like what I used to do or who I used to be or who I used to roll with or whatever, yeah, okay, yeah, that was me. But I can say that because I'm comfortable in the place that I am now, comfortable in myself that I am now. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna wave from the freaking high top, oh, I used to XYZ, because why? That's in my past. I don't have to keep looking back on those mistakes because that's in my past. I've fully moved on from those things. So I don't know. Certain things you can and can't get away from. I mean, I feel like you have to lay in the bed that you made. You know what I mean? If you have a digital footprint as a racist, bro, and everybody knows you as a racist, and you know what I mean? Like if Donald Trump turns around next week and it's like, I love all people and let them all back into the country, like nobody's gonna take this man serious. What happened to the illegal aliens? Like nobody's gonna take him seriously, bro. Black people aren't gonna like him all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? The people in China that he didn't piss off, they not gonna like him. Like whatever it is, if he turned around and tried to change himself and I'm a new person, just 2026 Donald Trump, like what? Like if he gave up MAGA and all this, whatever, he got a new acronym, everybody's gonna know him for being Donald Trump, the orange man, like the racist. Like everybody's gonna know him for that. That is his mojo. Like that's his thing. You know what I'm saying? That's his whole campaign. Like dude literally is, his footprint is fried, even if he did try, you know what I'm saying, to turn around. And so it's like, do I believe everybody can turn around and change their life? It's a different episode. But the point is, it would be really hard for him to do that because he had to lie in the bed that he made. So it's a hard conversation to answer your question. Like, you know, is it helpful or harmful to look back on past mistakes? It's helpful to a certain extent, but when you keep looking back on your mistakes or other people keep bringing it up, it's harmful. But at the same time, if your mistakes were so grave, bro, you the one that did it to yourself. So if people keep reminding you of your mistakes, you know what I mean? Or if you did something that constantly reminds you of your mistakes, like if you, I don't know, man, if you made a bad choice and you came in drunk to work and then you got fired and now, you know, you got evicted and all that stuff like that, your life is constantly reminding you of your bad choice. You can't get away from that. That's your bad choice. You know what I mean? It's like, it's gonna constantly remind you of your bad choice because life is reminding you of the choice that you made. You have to now deal with the result of the choices you made. So it's not other people reminding you, oh, you remember when you came in drunk. Nah, like it's life reminding you of that. So I get it, like in threefold me trying to answer this question. I just felt like it's so many layers pulled back on mistakes, you know, but mistakes are a part of life and they're inevitable. So regardless, I do want to say the answer to your question is it's more helpful to look back on your mistakes. Okay, Yapatron.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was a nice response. It was funny, but it was good. Thank you.
Oh, I'm seeing podcast suggestions in the chat. Oh, right. Yes, I do have podcast suggestions. Between the Walls podcast. Let's try this again. Hindsight's podcast. So Between the Walls is like social, economical. It's like it's a black couple and they just they talk or whatever and whatever, right? Let's try this again. Actually, it's B Simone in her podcast. Not gonna lie, it's actually really funny. But she has a lot of people on there. If you're Christian, you'll probably like that as well. Hindsight's podcast, Kevin Hines, suicide survivor. He jumped off the actual like Golden Gates Bridge and survived and made a podcast on it, on mental health, and created the foundation in order to support mental health. So if you like that and inspirational stuff, do that. Elevation Nation, Sam Parker and what's his name? I forgot. But it's basically about elevating yourself and, you know, just becoming a better person. People that made good business achievements and all that type of stuff. And then for like recreational, like funny podcasts, or like if y'all like story times, I think, what's this one scary story time podcast that I be listening to? I think it's like Nightmares by Night or something like that. I forgot. But there's different stuff. So hit me up and I'll definitely put you on to some podcasts. It just depends on what you like, what you was cool, it's not. Let me read these comments. Oh my gosh. I be feeling like I speak too fast. I'm actually trying to work on that. But oh my gosh, happy belated birthday, Jessica. You be watching Banging Out podcast. Okay. I be watching, I can't lie, I be watching The Shade Room with Shannon Sharp. I be watching, I can't lie, I fall victim. I be watching The Shade Room. But in his podcast. But let me recenter. Let's get into the main talking points. So about environment. I think we touched on this a little bit earlier. Environment and relationships. How does that change and affect, how does those changes affect consistency and routines? So I'll let Angela take it back. How do you think that environment and relationships, when those things change, how can it affect your consistency?
I kind of said this. I mean, I don't mind like restating it, I guess.
We touched on it, but this is where you like give us an example. Like, what do you think?
Okay, so yeah, I guess I could like restate it and like add some different things. So basically, I say your environment and relationships. does affect everything in your life, not just consistency and, having those routines. Surrounding yourself with the right people is something that's really important. Like I said previously, if you notice that you're sticking with the same crowd and, you're not growing or like maybe even doing worse, and those are like kind of signs to start searching for different people, being like I was saying earlier, just being open-minded to conversations with anybody, finding that those right relationships that could benefit you and help you out, and help surround yourself with the right people who can support you, who have similar interests to you, and who have those good habits that you want to have in yourself, so that you could learn from them. And your environment, I mean, it's literally like we learn in science, environment affects everything. I don't remember what we were learning, but it's practically in every single subject we've learned that same theme, and it's true in our daily lives as well. You just need to take some time to just reflect on yourself, reflect on the people who you're with, your friends, if you have a mentor, your mentors, and evaluate yourself and what you want. What are your goals and what are their goals? Is there any alignment? And if there isn't, then there's the time that you need to start searching for other people. And if it's hurting you, then maybe even depart from those relationships or that environment. And that's really what everyone should focus on and do at some point in their life. It affects school, it affects your social life, it affects your mental health. It's one of the most important things, really, your environment. And especially at this time, whether you're going to college or trade school or you're just starting a job immediately, your environment's still going to affect you. So it's one of the most important things that I focused on. I tried to focus on, and I strongly believe that everyone should as well.
Have you ever had like a major life change that just came in and like stopped you from being consistent? Because I feel like that's where I'm at right now. Like,
yeah, I had it was like some personal stuff.
Yeah.
But it was like right before I started getting adjusted to the school, I was just having some personal issues, and I needed people to help me, to back me up, and to teach me what's right and what's wrong. And I had my parents there to support me. It was a rough time, and yeah, it was pretty tough. But time heals, it does.
Word.
And through time, you become a better person, a different person. I use clubs as an outlet to, have that community and to have people to help me as well, just as much as I wanted to help them.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked out. And I'd like to say that I have changed for the better. So yeah.
Yeah, I think negative things can definitely affect your environment, but definitely positive things too. Like recently, I had an influx of relationships. Like so many new people came into my life. I'm trying to call this friend, tend to them, do this, and I just feel like I haven't, my natural routines that I've created for myself and my own like self-care and prioritizing the things that I like to do took a back seat because I'm trying to figure out my new balance. So balance is hard, especially like I know that's what people be like, oh, adult friendships are so hard because like you're not in close proximity to one another. Like you don't see each other in class every day. You have to work your life around people, and I feel like that's how I am with like people who don't go to the same school as me, or people that I have that are older friends or that work or whatever. Like I have to find time. We have to work around each other's schedule, and it's just hard to find yourself. I recently had to take a step away. Like if you did not hear from me on Tuesday, it was not personal. Nobody heard from me on Tuesday. I had to take a step back because it was so much going on, and I'm still behind on things that I want to do for myself. And it's just trying to find that balance. So I guess I'll do this in reverse. Before we get into the second main talking point, the big theme of the episode, I want to pose the activity to the audience and to both of us. Do you have untapped potential? And if so, what is it? And then I'll let you go into the second question.
Yeah, before you guys start on that activity, I just wanted to add on to what Dean said. And I don't know if it comes off as selfish or anything, but there are times, you do have to put yourself first before friendships, and the real friends, the ones that actually do care for you and are there for you, would understand that you had to take time, or you can't talk right now. You have to focus on yourself. You have to focus on homework or whatever else you have going on. And that's when you see who are the real ones and who aren't. For a while, like I took like a month or a month and a half break from just talking to everybody because I just needed it.
You sure did. You was ghost. I mean, like nobody heard from you yet.
Yeah, but then I came back and everybody was talking just the same. Like they all treated me like they cared, and I saw like I was surrounded by real friends, and you just had to put yourself first, and that's a test for you and a test for your friends as well. And it's just that time that on your own that matters a lot to learn learn more about yourself, to focus on yourself and better your own on your own time. So yeah.
Word. We talked about that in Jazz's episode too. Both of us are close with Jazz. Jazz is like our bestie, so putting yourself first. Shout out to Jazz, guys. Go listen to her episode. I believe it's called If I'm Being Honest, I've Never Felt Better. I'm gonna let you give the question back for the activity as I put it in the chat.
Yeah, so the activity is, do you have untapped potential? If so, what is it? Or are you operating in all your talents?
What do you think? You wanna go first? You want me to answer first?
I honestly don't really know. I feel like I'm a mix of both as well. Like when I was just starting both of the clubs and I had like so much more work to do, it felt like I was just having trouble adjusting to it all, even though like I literally was doing the same thing with the year before. And I felt like, that was it. Like I couldn't take anything else anymore. But I still kept on going. Like I adjusted to it, and I didn't feel like the same weight or the same amount of work, and I felt like I could probably even do more. And on top of all that, I was doing like a college course and everything. That was tough, and luckily in the end I got 100, so that was pretty good. And you need to have that confidence in yourself, and you'll realize that you could do more than you expect. And I thought I couldn't do any more, but I was still doing a whole bunch of other things at the same time, while doing school, while meeting with my mentor, while doing the clubs and everything. So you could have untapped potential, but it's to an extent, really. You can't burn yourself out, because it's just something that I really try to avoid, and I feel like everyone should too. Just have some time to relax as well.
No, definitely. And I want y'all to peep though. He's talking some, I got 100, so I guess that's pretty good. Like, you're such a try hard, bro. I can't stand you. I cannot stand you. But no,
I'm not doing anything, bro.
I guess that's pretty good. Like, man, please get out of here. No, I like what somebody said. She said, I feel like everyone has untapped potential. I agree. I think there's always more. You know what I mean? Even if you feel like you're walking in your purpose 100%, which was also another episode, go watch that. I think that's on the meaning of life, another panel episode. His episode was really good. But even if you're fully walking in your purpose, I feel like there's always more. Like, you never know what's next down the road for you. I just how I always try to think. Like, I didn't think I was gonna start a podcast. I'm talking to y'all right now. Did not think that that's what God had for me, to use my voice like that. I thought I was just a yapper for no reason, and I talk a lot. You know what I mean? But even then, like,
you still talk a lot.
Thank you very much appreciated, Angela. I'm glad you got that off your chest. I love the fact that, like, it's not just me. I'm able to pull the best out of other people, the panelists, the interviews, you know what I mean, and share that with people. And definitely I see the podcast getting so big. Chat, in college 2026, podcast is doing it's going big. Like, I really am imagining so many different visions for it and so many different executions, and I just definitely want to take it a lot of places. But even like you say, everybody has untapped potential. Even if you feel like you're walking in your purpose a little bit, there's always more. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid of growth, even though it's uncomfortable. Like he said, if you think you can do it, you can. You know what I mean? Put your mind to it, dedicate it, study, train for it, whatever it is, and you can definitely do it. So that brings it back to the title, A Blank Canvas is Okay. And I like, when we was planning this episode, I asked him what the title was gonna be, and we was throwing out terrible ideas. Honestly, I was throwing out terrible ideas. It was bad. And then he came up with that, and I was like, wait, I like that, because a blank canvas is not blank. It just hasn't been written on yet. You know what I mean? And so I definitely like that. It can be shaped, you know what I mean? It can be molded, and we happen to be, having the clay in our hands. Like, you can choose where your life wants to go. You know what I mean? If y'all spiritual, this dance a little different. But right now you have the autonomy. You can choose. There's a whole world ahead of us. We are young, you know what I mean? There's so many different pathways, you know what I mean? You don't have to go the generic way, and you can do it, or you really can do it. Like, I know people who be like, oh, I'm passionate about the arts, I want to make it on Broadway. You can do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, if you from a small town and you want to make it big and you want to go to Atlanta, go do it. If we from New York, you want to move and become a farmer in Iowa, go do it. I don't know, bro, whatever it is, but go do it, man. But do you have any last final messages for the people while they listen? Any advice, anything?
I guess one little quote I feel like stuck to me: whether you believe you could do it or you can't, you're right. And what it means is it's basically saying you can do whatever you set your mind to. But when you believe you could do something and you really try, you have that ability to try, and that's what matters. And when you believe that you can't do something, you don't take that risk, then there's never a reward. And I don't even know where I heard that quote. maybe from my coach, I think.
I've heard that quote too.
Yeah, but it's something that really stuck with me, and it holds a lot of meaning, and it's very true. So I've applied it to my life, and I feel like everyone should apply it to their life. Keep it in their mind as well. And yeah, so
Yes.
that's really it.
Write your own story, guys. Thank you so much, Angelo. This is the only time I will be thanking you, by the way, but thank you for coming and doing this.
Oh, you're blessed to have me on this podcast.
Okay, so this will be the last time y'all hear from him. Remember, everything you need is in your DNA, guys, and thank you so much for listening.